Hello and welcome to Critical Political Thinking. My name is Camasso, and today's video is all about funding. We will go over the various ways that you, your family, and your business can attain the funding, grants, and all of the necessary essentials to make sure that you and everything around you survives this pandemic. So stay tuned and welcome to Critical Political Thinking. Hello and welcome to this very special, important episode of Critical Political Thinking. In today's video, myself, Camasso, will be discussing to you the different ways that your family can find funding through unemployment, through the various stimulus packages, if you own a business for the SBA. If you don't have any access to some of the things that we have, we can also tell you how to get funding for food, as well as also some cash assistance as well. There are a lot of resources out there available to us as Americans, and it's time that we put them all in one place so it's nice and convenient for all Americans. So let's start with the one thing that most Americans were removed from, and that's our jobs. So we all had a job up until about a month and a half, 2 months ago. They say around 55 days we're at now for this pandemic. So 55 days has come and gone pretty darn quick if you ask me. Other than these videos, I can't really say that I've done too much, and I'm sure as Americans we're all pretty much in the same boat because we're very limited to what we're allowed to do. We have all filed for this magical unemployment, and the majority of us, well, I see a lot of people right around now are starting to hear their results and their answers. The majority of Americans have not even seen a penny yet. And what I can tell you is that, number one, you are entitled to the funds all the way back to the date to which you were let go from your employment, unless your state has holding weeks. Now, some states are removing the holding week. I know in Pennsylvania they have removed it, but in New Jersey they have not. So there's just different various rules and regulations to each state, which is making this very confusing and why there is no real central federal information on unemployment. I can tell you that most unemployment systems are working to their maximum capacity. They're doing everything in their power to process your claims in the expedited manner that they can. The majority of these emails are ending up going to a lot of spam email boxes. Many of us have never utilized these services before, so our email isn't recognizing the server to which they're being sent from, and spam filters are knocking a lot of these into your trash, junk, all those folders. So be sure that you're checking those folders, because if you're not, you may not have the information that you need to finish processing your claim. So you might be cursing a state when in actuality they did everything they could to reach you and you're not responding. So please make sure that you're looking into that. Keep in mind that your payments, most of us lost our jobs mid-March. So from March through the end of March, we will be receiving the standard unemployment pay rate, which is usually around 60% of your standard income, up to around the $600 mark, depending on which state you're in. However, starting on the date that they signed the stimulus package in the end of March, we are therefore entitled to $600 extra a week. Now, some states have this in place already, some states do not. Either way, you are still entitled to those funds, so they will eventually be put into your account. That's an additional $600 per week for the entire time you're unemployed, up to 26 weeks. At that point, they will be removing this bonus stimulus package, and your funding will go back down to the standard unemployment rate if you still qualify and if you still have funds available. Now, they are speaking about adding to that, changing that, but as of right now, when this video is being made, on, I believe it's May 9th, we'll be filming this video and distributing it. So therefore, that is the valid information we have up until that point. Now, let's say you're trying to reach unemployment and you can't, and you're getting a busy signal, or you're not getting through it all and it's just kicking you right out. There is a great application called Auto Redialer available on the Android and the Apple application stores, both of which have it. It's a great thing. All you're going to do is type in your state's unemployment number, put your phone down, your phone will make a weird noise when it finally connects through, and then boom, you are now connected to unemployment, which is a fantastic resource. Make sure you're using it if you're having trouble connecting. Also utilize email. Now, they've turned a lot of the email off on the site, meaning they've blocked the page, but the page can still be scrubbed. So go to Google, find your unemployment. I know this works for Pennsylvania and New Jersey. If you Google email unemployment, you will find a link that allows you to email both unemployment departments. So this way you're able to at least reach someone and get your message through. Another trick that I found is to file an appeal. Even if you have not been processed yet, the appeals pile is substantially smaller than the regular pile, and they've been asked to process them quicker. So what you're basically doing is putting your application into the appeals process. Now, this may not work for all states. Look into it first. See how your state processes things. I don't want to see you get your unemployment restricted, but at the same time, it is one way to get them into the system and have somebody actually looking at your application and say, oh, this is all it needs, and 9 times out of 10, it'll push it right through. Personally, that did work for me. I did receive notification yesterday only, and I did apply on March 16th for unemployment. And I only found out yesterday I did have to apply in New Jersey, even though I reside in Pennsylvania, as that is where the majority of my on-the-book works were handled. So that is a very important thing that you need to understand. Make sure you're paying attention to your email, because that is the 9 times out of 10, that's how they're going to communicate, or through a phone. So if you do have spam filters turned on your phone, turn them off for the time being. You will get bombarded with calls, yes, but at the same time, you will get the necessary calls you need, because they too might be put through to a spam filter. Now, let's say you don't qualify for unemployment. Then you say, okay, what's available to me? Or even if you do qualify for unemployment, what else is available to me? Well, I can tell you this. If you're a restaurant employee, go to samadams.com. Samadams.com has a wonderful grant on their website for all restaurant employees or anyone related to the restaurant or bar industry that has been displaced by the COVID virus. That is an excellent grant. I know candid.org and grantwatch.com. Candid.org and grantwatch.com are 2 fantastic sites, both of which are loaded up with free money for Americans. And I don't mean free money in a sense, go and take advantage of the system, but I mean in a sense that they are grants. Grants that do not have to be repaid for the most part. Some might have some stipulations and rules and regulations. Some are for certain states, some are for certain minorities, some are for certain specific ethnicities. It's just a whole lot of different jarble on both of those sites, Candid and grantwatch.com. But both are fantastic sites, and they do give you access to a great deal of important information that can help you and your families get the funding that you need. Additionally, for cash, let's say you didn't have a job, but right now you are without anything. You had a job on the side where you weren't getting paid, so therefore you don't have any proof of income. What you are now eligible for the most part, I would assume, would be food stamps and cash assistance. So make sure that you're reaching out to your local economic welfare departments. The Department of Welfare usually handles most food stamps and most of the welfare division. So like you're going to get your cash assistance, your SNAP, your health care, all of that stuff. That's all handled through the CEO office within your city, state, or county. So make sure you're paying attention to that as well. So that is another outlet for you to reach out and get some food on your tables. I do know that they're handing out around $250 an individual for emergency food stamps. The second you apply, you'll get a card and you'll get that. Not the second, but within a week or so. And then you'll get an interview shortly thereafter to see if that process and the services will continue for you. So make sure you answer your telephone interview. A telephone interview is required for food stamps in, I think, any state. So make sure that you're paying attention and listening for that phone call if you did apply for food stamps, because you do have a telephone interview and they are required to notify you by U.S. mail as well. As far as future funding for regular me, you, anybody, the only other option that we have at this point, besides grants that I mentioned, which are all available on those websites, your unemployment, and then you have your cash assistance and food stamps. Besides that, you have access to a possible second stimulus. So if you haven't received your $1,200 stimulus, you will receive your $1,200 stimulus if you are eligible. The criteria is all available online. Go to irs.gov. The Treasury also has the same information available. So these are 2 great federal government websites that you can visit, and they will give you this information to the T. So all Americans, for the most part, have access to the first stimulus, which was a $1,200 one-time payment. Most of them were direct deposited. Others are coming out in checks at this time. Now, they are already in the process of possibly, I hate saying these things because they never, at this point, we have no idea. But what they're discussing is possibly giving another additional $2,000 stimulus payment and then $1,000 a month for the duration of the federal disaster. So that is something that is in the works. So there is some light at the end of the tunnel if there were no other options available to you. Now, if you have no other options available to you, you have no food on your table, there are a lot of options. There are so many people and good things going on in this world right now. Go to foodpantries.org and feedingamerica.org. Feedingamerica.org, foodpantries.org. Both will get you linked up to something within your community, something within your town. They can help you find anything that you need. Now, let's say you don't have access to the internet. You saw this video somewhere, somebody shared the information with you. Please take down this number. This is the number to Critical Political Thinking. This is our hotline. We've also dedicated our hotline to reach out and allow people to give us a call, and we'll do that search engine for you. If there's help that you need, you can't figure it out, give us a ring. We'll do our best to see what we can do to help you. And our number here is 570-500-5002. Again, it's 570-500-5002. And we'll do our best to help you as well. But those two great websites for resources for food and whatnot is foodpantries.org and feedingamerica.org. Two great things. And also, if you have a youngster in school, whatnot, make sure you're taking advantage of the school lunch programs. There's been a lot of federal funding put aside for those things. They're giving your children the meals. Take advantage of these things. They're things to help you and help you get through these times. Don't be shy. Don't be ashamed. Don't think, oh, well, you know, somebody might need it more than me. And if that's the case and you're well-to-do, then, or you're well-off, then so be it. But if you really do need the help and you're sacrificing, don't do so. There's so many of us that are willing to help you. Please reach out for the assistance. Reach out for the help. If you're having mental difficulties, if you're having mental trouble, you're depressed, suicidal, any of those things, please make sure you're reaching out. There are tons of medical resources. Call your Pennsylvania, call your New Jersey, call your Connecticut Department of Health. Call the Department of Health. They will be happy to reach you in contact, especially coronavirus related, because all of these things are covered for free. You don't have to worry about the money. You don't have to worry about the problems. If it's coronavirus related, there has been federal funding laid aside to help you get the care you need. So please take advantage of these things. Please. Additionally, billing, bills, rent, utilities, credit cards, all of these things we still owe. They're not going anywhere. But you can't just forget about them either. You must call your creditors. Tell them what your situation is. Do you think they're not aware? Because I assure you they're aware. Take the time to call your creditors. Let them know, I don't have it. Please put me on pause. This way, you're not delinquent. There are rules in play. They can't hold it against you for the most part. So for the majority of, some have been pretty harsh, but for the most part, they are being very forgiving and very helpful. Call your bank, call your financial institution, let them know your hardship, and they will work with you and they will put your account on pause so you're not in default. Do not ruin your credit as well as everything else. We don't have to do that, America. There have been rules and things put in place, but you have to participate and you have to do your part, and that's calling your creditors and ensuring that you're taken care of. Right now is also census. Make sure you're sending in your census information, because without that, you will not get the funding you need for your city, so on and so forth. I'm going to close with a real quick rundown on some funding available for businesses and business owners. The SBA, obviously, you have your PPP loan. The EIDL, forget about it. They've already run out of funding. It doesn't look like they're refunding that. It looks like it was a disaster from the get-go. Too many fraudsters, too many people trying to take advantage of free money. The PPP loan is up and running. They're doing great with it. Make sure you're sticking with, believe it or not, smaller lenders are doing better because they're limiting the funds to the larger lenders. So they're very tight and they're pretty much sticking with their own clients. So find a nice small lender. Credibly has done wonders for me. Nav is another great company, nav.com, credibly.com. They've done great things for smaller businesses, so please check into them and get the help you need. There are also some grants available. Hello Alice is offering a grant for minorities, disabled, LGBTQ, all of that. So check out helloalice.com. Andrew Yang, the businessman, is also giving out economic hardship grants for businesses, small businesses. So check out Andrew Yang. Facebook, depending on your region, this is a really weird one, but Facebook is offering a ton of grants, but you have to live in specific cities within the state or within our United States or certain areas throughout the world. So check into Facebook, they're offering them. And also check into your city. A lot of larger cities like New York City is offering grants for certain specific things, so on and so forth. So those are some other additional business funding that you may not have heard of that are available. So like I said, I did want to try and talk fast. I know it's a lot of information. I know there's a lot out there. But please understand, people are helping. People are doing what needs to be done. Do your part, call your creditors, make sure that you've put your accounts on hold. Check up, follow up on your unemployment, check your junk mailbox, and turn off your spam filters. Look into grants. Sam Adams has a great grant for restaurant workers. Otherwise, go to candid.org or grantwatch.com. Those are your other two options for finding extra free money. Food stamps, obviously, like I said, your local CEO office will take care of all that. Commission on Economic Opportunity. And that's pretty much the rundown on what's available to us right now. I hope everyone is doing well. As I mentioned earlier in the video, if there's anything we can do to help you, please by all means reach out, 570-500-5002, or you can email us or find us on any of our videos. Please like us, subscribe, add a comment. Please be interactive. We are a newer podcasting news source and we are trying to build. So please help us out, share, do your part, make us grow. Thank you very much for watching. I hope this helped you. I hope you found a little bit of information and some outlets to help you and your families find some food and some resources. This is Corey Camasso with Critical Political Thinking. Stay safe.